What's up, guys? Cameron, aka I'm the crazy one here. So this is gonna be not a super long video, but originally I was thinking of making drugs two, part two to my drugs topic-based video that I talked about. But I thought this would be more fitting because it is something different, but it is still kind of like in the same, you know, ball game as you know, the alcohol and drugs one that I made before. This one is going to be titled Nicotine, talking about my nicotine addiction, how I started, and why I'm sadly still fucking addicted to the shit to this day. So let's get into the video. So, start with how old I was and everything and stuff, and how it started. Started smoking cigarettes when I was 16 years old. Sadly, it's just kind of the same reason I started drinking and smoking, and everything. And when I mean smoking, I mean like smoking weed when I was 16, just because I was hanging around stupid idiots, bad role models that I considered my friends at the time, and they smoked cigarettes and everything and stuff. So, I smoked weed for the first time before I ever started smoking cigarettes, but smoked weed about twice, and then I tried my first cigarette with my buddy Ben. We had an old buddy named Dennis that we used to hang out with. I don't talk to the guy anymore. I don't even know if I've said it in a video before, but Dennis he kind of turned into a terrible person. I'm just going to leave it there. But Dennis started smoking cigarettes. Ben smoked cigarettes when he was younger, but stopped for a while. But Ben started smoking cigarettes again because of fucking dumbass piece of shit Dennis. And we were just walking back home, it's when we both lived me and Ben lived in the same trailer park together. So we're walking back home, and Ben had a pack of cigarettes, and he pulled out a cigarette out, and I just asked him, I was like, I've never smoked a cigarette before. I'm like, can I have one? Stuff. He's like, yeah, sure. And the first couple puffs, I didn't inhale it. He's like, dude, if you're not going to inhale the cigarette and smoke it right, give it back. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you need to inhale. I'm like, how do you inhale? He's like, when you're smoking it, you need to, inhale it into your lungs and breathe in. Like the first time that I inhaled it, I just started coughing my ass off. Felt like I was going to puke. Got like the biggest, worst nicotine buzz ever of my life. But after, the nauseousness and everything wore off, I kind of felt relatively good. So I smoked like close to the rest of the cigarette, and then I ended up just giving the rest to Ben. I was like, here you go, I don't want the rest of this. Gave it to him, and it's where the nicotine addiction started. Pretty much any time that I would hang out with Ben, if we were walking around outside or something like that, I would ask him for a cigarette. Then shortly after that, my 18-year-old friends like Dennis and everything and stuff, I would ask them to help me buy packs of cigarettes, and that's sadly how that shit started. And if I stopped hanging around like other people and stuff, friends that smoked, if I wasn't hanging out with like people like Ben and Dennis and my old buddy Matt and Tan and all these people and shit, I wouldn't have continued to smoke cigarettes. But like every single friend that I met smoked cigarettes and shit. So I just continued to be a fucking addict and keep smoking cigarettes for many, many, many years. And yeah, for years I was on and off with cigarette smoking. I was like smoking cigarettes, tried quitting for a little bit. It got back onto it because I would hang out with a friend that was smoking cigarettes, so I would bum one from him and get back into it. And then, around my senior year, because I started smoking cigarettes towards like the end of my sophomore year, and started smoking like more heavily like within my junior year of high school. And by my senior years, when even kind of in my that like beginning of my junior year, vapes were coming out, but they weren't that crazy at that time. But then they started getting like more like cooler vape mods and everything my senior year. And speaking of Dennis again, Ben ended up taking Dennis's old vape because he didn't really want it anymore and stuff. So when Ben lived with me for a little bit before I graduated, Ben fucking dropped out of high school because he's a fucking idiot. I love him. Still my friend to this day, but he's a dumbass for dropping out of high school. But yeah, we had a vape for a while, so we were trying to kind of quit cigarettes around that time, but we didn't really like vaping much, so we were mainly smoking cigarettes, and then tried quitting again and stuff. I went out and got a couple of my own vape mods and had, a few of them throughout the years, and then ended up getting rid of those. And right before COVID time, I ended up going out and getting a Juul. I bought a Juul for pretty cheap from one of my friends when that was coming out and getting big, because I wanted to try to quit cigarettes again, and use that for months until right around my birthday, February of 2020. They switched the nicotine laws from 18 to 21 like it is everywhere now, at least in America. It's obviously different in other countries and shit. And right around that same time, they ended up banning all like flavored pods of anything, like Vuse pods, Juul pods, anything, stuff like that. And I'm not I almost said nicotine person, obviously I am. I'm not a menthol type person or anything, and really the only Juul pods they had was like tobacco for like older people that are trying to quit cigarettes and they want something that's still similar to a cigarette, or menthol. And for a little bit they had mint, and I could somewhat stand the mint, but then they ended up banning that too. So all they had was menthol and tobacco. And so I ended up just giving my Juul to my ex-girlfriend, one of them, because she was trying to quit cigarettes at the same time too. So I was like, just fucking take the Juul from me. You like menthol flavored shit. So I gave it to her. So, but after I got rid of that Juul, I started smoking cigarettes again for a bit. And then I didn't really like fully probably quit cigarettes until about 2.5 years ago, like 3 years ago or something like that now. I mean, the last couple times I bought a couple packs of cigarettes was very shortly after I started working at Papa Murphy's like 2 years ago. And the only reason I got a couple packs of cigarettes is because I was going to a concert in Milwaukee with my buddy. I wanted to have some nicotine for the show because I know I was going to be around a lot of people vaping and smoking. My dumbass should have just got what I use now. I should have just got a disposable, because then I could have fucking hit that when I was inside the venue, but I wasn't even thinking about that. I was stupid. So I smoked those couple packs of cigarettes, and just after not smoking cigarettes for like 8 months straight and then just randomly going out and buying 2 packs of Camel Crushes and smoking that within a couple days, I was constantly just like coughing, felt like shit. After that pack, I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done with this shit, not going back to it. And I stuck with it for a few months until everyone at my Papa Murphy's job started using disposables and shit. So, and one thing that's super illegal, but everyone that worked there got fired, so I don't give a fuck. And even if these people were working there, I don't give a fuck. I'll expose them. Fuck them. It's super illegal what they were doing. But there was this girl that I went to school with and everything and shit, and she became our boss there. And since she vaped and stuff, if there wasn't any customers around the store, if we were in the back, she didn't care if we hit our vapes there. Didn't matter if we had like a big vape mod or what we had. And they even did even more illegal shit, like taking dabs in the fucking back of the store and doing all this stupid shit. So I ended up getting addicted to vaping. I'm still addicted to it now because everyone around me was constantly vaping. When I was working a crazy fucking shift there, I needed some way to relieve my stress. So I just started hitting people's vapes there, didn't buy my own. And then people were sick of me asking to hit their vapes all the time. So I just started buying my own, and now I'm still addicted to it. Even this, I know a couple times and stuff here and there, I've told you guys, trying to quit vaping right now. I'm popping a piece of nicotine gum, and I literally still have my nicotine gum sitting on my counter that's not getting used, because past month or so I went out, and anytime I run out of a vape, when I get paid again, I buy another one. But I really do want to quit this shit at some point. I'm about to turn 26 soon. Literally next month, I turn 26. And at that point, it's going to be marking 10 years of being a nicotine addict. And my main goal is, if for some reason, if I can't quit nicotine, quit vaping somehow this year, but I'm really, really going to try this year to quit nicotine. That's going to be my New Year's resolution, is trying to quit nicotine at any point this year. But if I don't, my main goal is by the time that I'm in my 30s, I really don't want to be vaping or anything. And I will never do it nicotine anyway. Like, I'll never use a hookah, never smoke cigarettes again. I'll never smoke cigars, do any of that shit. Shit's fucking disgusting to me. But vaping for me and these disposables are, I wish that they never made this shit. Because if they never made this shit and stuff, and if I quit cigarettes, I don't think I ever really would have probably went back to cigarettes. Because I hate the smell of them. I hate the fucking taste. Everything cigarettes are nasty as fuck to me. Like, I took a couple puffs off of a cigarette on Christmas Eve after work and stuff because I didn't have a vape. And stuff, my brother went out to smoke, and I was sitting outside talking with him, and I took a couple puffs. And afterwards, I felt like I was going to puke. And I told my brother, I was like, I wish I didn't take those couple puffs, but I was craving nicotine. But these disposables, they have so many flavors out there that are extremely good. Extremely. Like, there's, like a mango geek bar that I get, like this Lost Mary I have right now, a strawberry orange is pretty good. There's, orange fucking fab from the geek bars. There's so many flavors of these disposables that are so good. And that's the only reason that I keep doing them, is because I'm a nicotine addict, and if I try to quit, especially without the gum, I'm going to go crazy. Like last time that I tried quitting, I tried going to cold turkey, and for a week straight, I was losing my fucking mind until I got my nicotine gum and patches that I had. And even trying to use the gum, like the first week, trying to quit vaping or anything and stuff like that, like I go through so much nicotine gum in a day because I'm trying to quit, and it's hard. Like, I'm just gonna say this, like, if you've never smoked a cigarette, if you've never vaped, nothing, doesn't matter if you're a kid or if you're an adult, if you see any of your friends doing it or anything, stuff like that, and you look at them, and you think that, it looks cool or anything, stuff like that, take it from me, someone that's almost 26 years old, been doing this for 9 straight years, almost 10, don't ever smoke a cigarette, don't vape. Please, 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 never in your fucking life. I would much rather have anyone in their life smoke weed instead. Smoke weed instead. Not everyone likes smoking weed, wants to try it or anything stuff, but instead of trying to get addicted to nicotine, the hardest thing, smoke pot. Smoke pot instead, seriously. I'd rather someone be technically addicted to smoking weed than fucking smoking cigarettes or vaping. Nicotine is a bitch. It's a terrible motherfucking addiction. It's so hard to quit. That's why there's so many people, you see people in their 60s and 70s that are still smoking cigarettes and shit, because it's so hard to quit. It is probably the most addicting fucking thing out there. Like, I ended up just watching a video recently talking about addiction to porn, and how watching pornography and everything really fucks your head up, which it is very true. But I would say nicotine addiction is 50 times worse than being a pornography addict. And I'm saying that myself because I've been a pornography addict also since I was 13. And it's one of those things, I quit smoking weed easily. I cut out alcohol for a long time. Yes, I still drink here and there. But even though I work in a liquor store and I see alcohol around me all the time, if I wanted to pour out my bottles of alcohol that I had in there right now and never drink ever again, I could fucking do it. But I don't have a problem with alcohol or anything and stuff. I did relatively have a problem with marijuana. I smoked every day, all day, and stuff before, but I was able to quit that with no issues either, even though I did it all the time. But nicotine is hard. It's just hard to quit. So I'm going to leave the video there. If you're watching this video and if you're addicted to nicotine, You understand? But if you've never hit a vape or never smoked a cigarette or anything in your life, don't fucking do it.